Welcome back, everybody, here to your coverage of the Dota 2 Championship League. I'm your host of your English live stream, bringing you game number 2 of Alliance going up against Evil Geniuses. America going up against Sweden with, well, you know, a touch of Canada in there too. Let's get ourselves into this game, people, because I know that's what you came here for. You want to watch our draft go underway right now with Alliance only just able to clinch game number 1 up against Evil Geniuses. Some amazing support play coming out from EG, but really, I'm not the man to be that expert opinion on. All I know is what I saw here, and it was wonderful to see. I do have now that expert opinion. He has woken up in the wonderful, wonderful world of the Northern Hemisphere. It is my co-caster, Clairvoyance Man. Welcome to the broadcast.
Toby, how it doing, man? I was catching the last game and the tail end of it as well. So unfortunately, I couldn't make it for that one, but I think it came clear to everybody, the viewers, even yourself probably, that as the game progressed, we saw the effects of some of EG's heroes kind of falling out. And as much work they were doing with their individual heroes, like Universe on the Clockwork, a couple misfortunate scenarios with the hook shots, lacking initiations therefore, and of course the Earthshaker just shaking the floor with that hero all over the place, just disrupting the flow of all of Alliance's movements. But it just came to show that heroes like Titan, Magnus, and stuff, you have to keep in mind that those heroes are already incredibly hard to push into the base of. And also factoring in like a hero like DK, who is normally very good against Lifestealer, when it goes up against the Titan and all those other disables and lockdowns, it really does have a tough time. So I see the bans coming out now, and this is definitely the effect of the new patch. Once again, I thought the Bounty Hunter, Clockwork, Timbersaw, and Doom are going to be some of the most popular picks in this patch. And what do you know, Toby? No mentions of the Prophets or the Bears that Bulldog is so well renowned for. It is now the Bounty Hunter and the Lich, two really, really strong and potent offlaners. And of course, EG taking the third one in their option, the Clockwork.
Yeah, that's exactly what almost exactly what Fear did in the last game. Like, I don't think there's any real point when Fear has abandoned the ability to pick up Universe's Clockwork. He'll take it time and time again. The Bounty Hunter and the Lich was the first 2 bans he had in game number 1. And as for, like, his first ban, Troll was in there. He also had Darkseer in the ban pool in the first set, looking to get through a couple of extra heroes. This time around, he takes out the ET. He doesn't have the first pickup and doesn't want to go up against the other Titan, but does get now Arcade for a second game in a row. Visage and also Admiral Bulldog does get his Nature's Prophet in this game, but at the same time, he traded off. We now have Clockwork and Lifestealer, a nice jumping combination and a good level of immunity coming out as well, be it made from space from Cogs, or be it from the Rage of the Lifestealer.
Right. And you know, you mentioned the Darkseer, still a very potent hero. Of course, got a slight nerf, but spells like Vacuum, no matter what their cooldown, it's kind of just like one-time cast. If you cast it right, you're going to win the fight. So I would say even in this patch, the Darkseer got better just because it's facing up against dual lanes, and we all know how much a Darkseer can disrupt the lane or disrupt the flow of a lane. But unfortunately, the hero does have a limited playstyle when it comes to just the game in general, because it offers a lot more solutions towards team fight oriented styles as opposed to aggressive ganking or even hyper aggression or just playing overall defense. The hero does give you a lot of utility overall, but it just doesn't fit styles. And I know personally that Alliance doesn't like to have, like Bulldog doesn't actually like to play Darkseer because it does have limited functions in the early and mid stages of the game. So Prophet is the pickup for him, and as you mentioned, the Lifestealer always getting nerfs and has constantly gotten withered down over the last couple of patches, but still a dominant force because there is no other hero like the Lifestealer or the Weaver that can snowball out of control from the safe lane and take over the entire map with the amount of damage that they bring out. So EG showing the Alliance team that they got damage right now, and I'm just waiting for Alliance to see what they're going to react with, because they do have the option for another EGM hero, but at the same time, they have the Loda and the S4 hero, which is also a mystery in the last 3 drafts.
That's true. Their bigger problem right now is what EG is doing. They're spending so much of their extra time on this next ban, because I don't know if they're trying to work out the laning for it, because their choices right now, either they ban up against the middle lane, which it kind of looks like they're doing, taking out that Night Stalker of MSS. So you either ban up against the middle lane, or you look to take out the supports. And so do you want to really commit yourself into banning out that jungle? Because with the lineup of Clockwork and Lifestealer, I wouldn't be surprised if Chen is pretty high up on the cards for Fear as far as selecting heroes. And then, like, You ban out against the mid lane. Alliance hasn't picked up theirs yet either, so you could be shooting yourself in the foot. Fear started off doing that. He took out the Magnus, and it's kind of fair enough because S4, as we saw in our last stat, like S4 has been playing Magnus more than any other player since the patch. It's just, it's just S4 time and time again, try to drag this Magnus back. And we saw time and time again in that last game, the reason why he wants to. That RP is still insanely powerful, and not only the RP, but the buff ups to everyone else and the rest of his team that he does give. So, yeah. Nice Stalker was their ban. We'll see who else they want to take out, though, and see if it's a little bit more directed into a hero they want to play in the mid. Because Puck is still in here. We still have the OD available, even though no one's really touched him with a 10-foot pole over the last week on my live stream. And we do have Queen of Pain also here.
Yeah, there are definitely many, many options. I do personally feel right now that Queen of Pain is actually a really good example. The hero, I feel like, kind of got a nerf this patch. The ability to spam Shadow Strike has been slightly nerfed because of the mana cost, which isn't the worst deal, but it is rather significant. And another thing is mid lane as a whole. You know, we've been watching so many games that it's become very clearly obvious as day that it's definitely changed. We don't see the melee tanky heroes anymore that can just spam bottle crowing for not only the crow or the bottle changes, but also because ranged heroes get a lot more EXP. So I was actually thinking heroes like Templar Assassin would come in more frequently. But Alliance just overlooking that mid lane aspect for now, picking up the Crystal Maiden, and now things can go both ways, I guess, because Ake plays both the Visage and CM. And I'm not sure if EGM plays Visage, but regardless, one or the other will be the option for those respective players. And I feel like seeing that Crystal Maiden pick, all of a sudden I feel like EG is thinking to themselves they can get really, really greedy. And I would imagine that Fear might want to secure the Doom for himself right here, because that hero, we see the power in the late game. I mean, if you have a hero like Doom, there's essentially no point for having a support hero like VS anymore, because you can do the same thing in the early game so long as you don't die. And then provide that kind of aura and the late game advantages that Doom spell gives, along with the presence of a hero that's massively tanky. So I really do feel that
Fear should also be careful about that too, because if he doesn't pick it up right now, you have the chance that the Lions could play it. It could be in the hands of Loader.
Exactly.
Admiral Bulldog played in the last game, and we're not obviously we will see him up on the Prophet, but it doesn't stop S4 either from playing in the mid. And they should go for a Leshrac pickup here instead from EG. Now, not a hero we see a hell of a lot. In fact, there's only one player which I see it still consistently from, and that's Always Want to Fly. He's probably the only player which I see Leshrac consistently from. But EG's going to give it a shot here in this game. And Alliance looks like they don't even fear that Doombringer. They go straight into a Juggernaut pickup. So they have real high elements of push of their own. We'll go for another ES. So Fear will get his second ES round. Nice hero to have up against a Nature's Prof army coming in. And Leshrac, as well as, in fact, almost everybody here, like, they're not going to be cleaning off that army in any way, real shape or form. Yeah, but ES and Leshrac, we get to see our ES again. I'm happy.
Now that's very interesting. I feel like when you see the Juggernaut pick, the Earthshaker definitely was a predestined pick. Like they had that in mind, and obviously they want to synergize it with the long range stun along with the Leshrac. But the Leshrac hero, it's like, obviously it hasn't been seen very often. As you said, Empire is the only one that's been they haven't been religiously playing it, but they've been picking it from time to time. But at the same time, it's like it has limited functions too, because if you miss that stun once, there are so many heroes on Alliance that can just take complete advantage of Fogged if he is playing that hero right now. And actually, now that I mentioned that, could this be possibly a farming Leshrac? I guess we'll find out on the 5th pick.
A call Leshrac?
I think it's strong. The buff to Pulse Nova with the Aghanims was pretty decent. And also, Leshrac as a whole, especially in a game like this, when you're facing like a Juggernaut and a Prophet core, and Zeus to boot now, there's a lot of magical and burst damage kind of thing coming out. But Leshrac is a hero that if you play as a core, you build him tanky. So if he can withstand all the damage, over time he's just going to deal more damage. So I feel like the theory would be nice, and we're about to see what the cards are being played right now exactly with the Windrunner.
It looks to be a support Leshrac with a Windrunner pickup. Yeah, because Universe loves his Windrunner. Absolutely loves it. He wouldn't want to pass that one up. So Fear will get the Earthshaker, Fogged will get the Leshrac, J Lifestealer, MSS Clockwork, which means we'll have a possibility of the split lanes. It's almost well, I don't want to say it's archaic because it's only like maybe 2-3 months old. And then even before then, it was done many, many times. But the Windrunner Earthshaker, offlane. So you can run that,
Oh, yeah.
and with the creep wave being a lot closer, it's a lot safer to run that type of lane, which then means you have Lifestealer as well as Leshrac on the bottom, another two heroes with good synergy between each other, because then you've got your open wounds into Leshrac stun. Most of the time you do need that prep, unless you always want to fly, at which point you need no prep. And then MSS for the solo mid-roll up against the Zeus. So Zeus will try and have to keep his distance as far as possible away from those cogs, but if he manages to do that, S4 can get a really good advantage, and then you got Loda. Mr. Poor Man's Shield and going to go aggressive tri-lane. So they're going to run the Juggernaut, EGM Crystal Maiden, Arcade Visage heading down south. Admiral Bulldog will take the north lane, but we'll see if Alliance's aggressive tri-lane is able to pay off for them up against a support Earthshaker as well as Leshrac, two great controlling heroes.
Now, once again, with Leshrac in the dual lane tri-lane scenario, while it can be played offensively, it gets caught out once and it's pretty much just fresh meat. I mean, trying to stay up alive against a CM Visage and Juggernaut as an int hero is hard enough. An int hero without an escape and a very long channeled stun kind of thing is pretty much asking for death. So Fogt has to play this very, very carefully, and it's only a matter of time before EG realizes and begins to rotate. But as I say that, Fear's actually poised himself in the jungle. I'm wondering if he's looking to do some of the Earthshaker shenanigans that's been becoming a little bit more popular with regards to blocking the creep wave and sending it straight to the jungle and getting it denied.
It's quite possible. He tried to do it in the last game. In the last game,
did he?
Yeah, in the last game when they're playing on the Dire side, they try to do it then and try and do the Ancient area. And RK, in fact, walked up and into the Ancient area after his ward.
And his first blood.
After his ward got deblocked. Yeah, that first blood still he had to run across halfway across the map before it was able to be done. But the primary thing was just basically blocking up that pull point. And with Fear, he's got a DD rune to start with. So he may have considered trying to make something happen with Universe on this top lane. Between Shackles as well as Fissures, I think at all the control in the world you're really searching for. And then maybe in the middle lane, yes, for Fear is just zoning him out. He purposefully comes in range and shows himself. And it's just praying that S4 comes in close enough that he can get a fissure and lock him in. S4, there you go. There's that fissure lock in. And look at Fear. The body block is perfect. Now the cogs come down. Problem is Fear can't get close enough to damage on S4. And S4 will now walk through. The wall's gone down and he'll live through this. But he'll have to burn a lot of tangos. But this is what we're talking about in the last game, man. 100% on the money with every single fissure from Fear.
Yeah, I think S4, naturally, he is a pretty cocky player, and he says that himself, so I think that was a little bit of a bold move walking up in that distance and getting fissured in the face, but hold that thought at the bottom lane, slight bits of aggression coming up from both supports. Yeah,
they're just trading it out and trying to buy some space for Loda. That's all this lamp was really meant to do anyway on this bottom lane. I don't really see this as like it's a possibility for a killing lane, but it's also very difficult to achieve. When you've got Juggernaut with spin, you got Leshrac follow-up stuns, you can have Earthshaker who can throw out his fissure as well. Ensuring a kill on that bottom lane, you'll have to catch EG out of position for that. And they do have an Observer Ward that looks out for that. Like, there is one Observer Ward for the Dire side, which is hugging the tree line here on the bottom. So they are watching EG's movement around the corner, so it's really difficult to catch out Alliance. At the same time, Admiral Bulldog, he is not looking healthy. Goes around the tree line, has to create a new set of truth maybe before he dies. No, he's going to be okay. Universe is backed off to the side, but Admiral Bulldog will have to TP back to base. He took a lot of damage during that little trade-off with the Windrunner.
But the Treants are on the hot pursuit on the Windrunner, of course. Universe being faster on that hero is going to be able to retreat to safety and get the remainder of the creep wave. But as I say that, I think Bulldog's had this under control the whole time, because you see the creep build up right now that's pushing. That's a lot of denied experience going to Universe and a lot of potential EXP coming in for Bulldog right now, which he is about to claim. So I do want to say though,
it was that timing for him. Like, he just TP straight back to base and then uses the scroll to come back out to the tower. He misses nothing. He misses nothing. He rises down Windrunner, so she's only got like tango charges left, and money and experience.
Yeah, exactly. Bulldog, this is the thing with Bulldog in the solo lanes. It's like he knows all the timings and knows how to abuse his hero to the fullest. This is why he's so dangerous on this hero in comparison to other people. He's just practiced so many tactics and perfected them much better than other people, or even just has knowledge about them that other people don't. So definitely a potent force. And yeah, I do want to say this Clockwork zoning out the Zeus it was expected, but if that first blood came by, that would have been early boots for MSS and possibly complete death for S4 in this mid lane. So It's unfortunate that EG weren't able to secure it with that cog earlier. I really feel like they could have, but unfortunately the scenario was...
Fissure out from Fear, and Arke, he is locked in the corner, but Loda, he's already attacking on Fear. He's got to come in and help out his teammate though, maybe with the healing ward to go down too, into the spin. Arke very low on life. The first blood, it will go the way of EG, but they're going to lose Fog to maybe a little bit more. There's a Frostbite available here from EGM, and Jay doesn't have enough mana to also Rage. He used both Rage as well as Open Wounds during that last fight. And EGM, nah, he's not going to get close enough for this one. And it's just going to be a 1-for-1 trade with EG getting the first hit.
Yeah, I saw he Nova the creep wave to get 2 CS. That was interesting. He now has boots and that helps him a lot. But Loda's not going to die here. There is no way. Yeah, that just merely baits out his healing ward. If
that Latrike's done connected, then maybe.
Yeah.
And Loda's not using his healing ward. I thought he might throw it down during the middle of that fight and give Arke a little bit more of a fighting chance there.
Oh, instead they're going to just pull them tangles.
Yeah. Just share it off little bit by little bit. Slowing down Jo. Loda with the Nova as well. Jo's really just pushed back off the lane.
An interesting trial lane though, wouldn't you say? I mean, both cores having magical immunity, which is making this aggression shut down against each other so hard.
Oh, Fissure, the strike's done. Too late, and Loda's already to put up that magic immunity into the spin. And then Jo backs up with his own immunity, but Fog, in very, very close. Arke's got 3 levels of Soul Assumption available. Doesn't really want to throw... Okay, he doesn't want to throw it out. He actually cancels Jo's healing.
Yeah. And Loda's got 10 magic stick charges. He can go for round 2 if he would like. As for Jo, he's only got 1 stick charge, but he does have enough mana for the Rage. So, unfortunately for Alliance, Jo will not be another target once again. Or he will be safe at least. But in the meanwhile, EG supports, they're not getting a lot out of this exchange as a whole. I mean, Fog is level 3, which is decent. But Fear is only level 2, and remember that pull camp right there, if they don't succeed in double pulling, which they can't now because they've blocked up the second camp, then that's not a lot of EXP and money going in their favor.
Yeah. I also want to point out another thing we should keep our eyes out for, because in the middle lane, he just cracked level 6.
Yeah.
So now we also have your Thunder God's Wrath. It does cost a lot of mana to use, so when he's harassing out that middle lane, it doesn't help him out as much. He doesn't have enough of a mana pool to, in fact, use a full combination out in MSS, but it is going to be in the back of MSS's mind the entire time. Just knowing that that level of damage is available, and also more importantly, that level of damage can also come to the bottom lane, or the top lane at any point. So Universe, for example, like this, the trees block him in the corner, Admiral Bulldog can just start the harassment. In fact, they're diving in on Fog. There's your Zeus ultimate, and then into the spin. Fog, he's actually blocked in by the dire creep wave that was there. MSS, he's looking for an opening on Loda. The Edict damage was still nickeling through him. Clockwork, hook shot, too short. Can't latch up, so really Loda gets away with murder here, and the Zeus ulti is already in effect.
Actually, you know what? Now that stats are coming up, I've also remembered something really nice. I can't believe I was just forgetting about it, overlooking this combo as a whole. When you have a Zeus and Nature's Prophet together, and they both click ultimate at the same time, magic happens on the map. So maybe you could bring up the stats on the win percentage between like when a team has Zeus and Prophet on the same team. Like this is the oldest trick in the book. I can't believe I completely forgot about this, but it's just basically 500 AoE magical damage to the entire enemy team, and it's a very, very common combo back in the days. So
I watched the Dota 2 reporter, man. I know about the combination. All you need is like Invoker Sunstrike, Ancient Apparition, you have Zeus Ultimate, you have Prophet Ultimate, and you have Spectre Ultimate. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, my life really sucks.
Yeah. Heroes like, as you said, AA is really good with this. Storm and Nightstalker are also fantastic with this combination because they offer that global presence, or the potential of that global presence, because they have a good reach of initiations. So, of course, they are core heroes, and they've opted for the Juggernaut. Wow.
There you go.
That's a pretty deceiving statistics there. Let's see if Alliance can change that.
MSS going to hook into Loader now on the bottom lane. Zeus ult is already going to trigger. Prophet Ultimate's coming in as well. And the spin damage clockwork's already gone down. Loader just tanks everything. Nice fissure from Fear. At least holding out the Visage as well as Prophet for a little bit longer. But they can't hold him out forever. Jail will TP himself back to safety. But now they see they're all gone, they'll just take the bottom tower. Bulldog, not enough mana actually to summon up a new army of trees. And with a power shot, wow, that's some decent levels. That's a level 4 power shot through both Loader as well as EGM. And Loader's healing wall is still on cooldown. So it's possible Universe with power shot damage was why he's not going to stay close enough. He accepts the fact that that tier 1 tower will go down, and now everyone will go back to their respective lanes.
Yep. And speaking of lanes though, the laning phase, as it's beginning to unfold and we're heading into the mid-game stages, or as I say that, it's mainly because of the gold and EXP going towards heroes in so much abundance that it's transitioning so fast, even though it just got out of the first nighttime. We're going to see the hero differences kick in. And by that, I mean something like, for example, in the offlane for EG, they had Universe on the offlane. He's got phase boots and bottle now with a magic stick to boot. But Bulldog is just about to finish his Midas as a result of the laning phase, which he played out so nicely, but also including that tower at the bottom lane. When a Nature's Prophet has a Midas and phase boots at 9 minutes, he, amongst all the players that can snowball out of it, Bulldog is definitely the highest, if not one of the highest. So, this hook I thought mid lane. Oh, another unfortunate hook.
I was waiting for it. I was showing on the camera while you're having your talk, and it's like because S4's got himself a regeneration rune. He wanted to come up and spam out as many of his abilities as possible, and Fear and Fogged were waiting for the hook shot in. It was a hook shot into Cogged, and then they'll follow up with a fissure or the strike stun. Either way, they'll just chain the stuns out and they'll get the kill on S4. That was the plan. That was the plan right there. But MSS having some troubles with those hook shots. Maybe it's just a little bit more contagious. Because Universe had the trouble before. Loda's spinning himself away on this top lane, and he, in fact, well, he has ulti, and he's going to let it rip. Fogged, oh no, he didn't have to let it rip on him. Universe sprouted up, and the trees, they don't get the body block on him because of the phase boost, but then you've got the CM coming in with the Frostbite. Shaka will latch up Loda as well as RK. But they've already taken the 2 kills, and there's no response here from EG on the top lane. And already look at Loda. He's gone Aghanims first to start with, and that's only 1,400 gold away before he gets the Aghanims full buff up.
Wow. I think I've expressed it before personally that this is not exactly my favorite build. But when you have it this fast, I don't really think it matters what you get because you're just going to be so far ahead. And that is a really, really fast axe that he's progressing towards right now. So.
It is raw though, so there's no drums coming along with it, so his mana pool is still rather low as well as his life points. But at the same time, once he gets the last 2 1k items, I don't think he's going to really complain too much.
No, I don't think so either. He's holding the creep wave away from the tower so he can get extra CS, guarantee it, because Juggernaut's definitely one of the harder heroes to CS with under the tower, even though he has phase boots. A nice smart move, and he wants to maintain a creep equilibrium, which guarantees that the enemy isn't farming, because the creep wave's in your face. So a smart move, a very intrinsic, minor detail that he's emphasizing on right now.
It's like middle lane Jayer's now on the front lines. Gotta be careful about this though, because Zeus's ulti comes off cooldown in 4 seconds. And Nature's Prophet's ulti comes off cooldown in 1 second. They're basically got exactly the same cooldowns. Almost. Yeah,
pretty much. I think Thunder Gods is a constant 90 now, yep. And Prophet's kind of scales down to 60, 65.
Yeah, 90, 75, 60. EGM's in trouble. Where's our MSS hook? That could have been a hook for EGM in the mid, but look where they're rotating up. They want to kill on Prophet. Crystal Maiden is not enough for the EGM smoke for the EG smoke rotation. They want to have a core for their efforts. And RK is actually the only one up on top lane. Nature's Prophet's not even there anymore. Prophet is in fact back at base, who's also building into a 4-staff now. Gonna come in and start farming up side of his own jungle, but he comes in like 30 seconds after. Shaka won't launch here. EGM's already used his Frostbite. There's a Zeus low. Oh wow, just throw the ulti. He knew he wanted to. Hits it out, hits everybody, keeps the damage flying, sees Jair, there's your Thunder Strike, and Zeus, because of this haste, okay, he doesn't have physical damage to bring down Jair, so he'll just take the tower instead.
No, physical damage is definitely one of the things that Zeus is
lacking. Oh, but MSS!
Deny, he's gonna pay for that deny attempt with his life.
He didn't even get the denial.
So no, he did not.
When the familiar stomp, he had to remain there. And Loda goes to the bottom lane, and he start to push out the bottom tower. With Noga Club already up, and the Courier now 300 gold away from Aghanims, and the ulti get back off cooldown again. And Fear's just sitting up here on the top lane with Arcane Boost, but not enough money for a TP scroll. I don't know if S4 knows this, but now Fear will retreat back out again. Fear's been rather, like, he was rather cocky in the last game too. Like when he had that blink dagger up nice and early, he would just jump out, he'd fish down a creep wave, and then blink himself back out again, without even getting any of the last hits, just to start the momentum of the creep wave.
Yeah, it would be nice if there was like a core hero that could follow it up actually getting the CS, but pushing out the lanes is very important.
Well, where was Dagon Courier of Warcraft 3 times?
What about those? Those are balanced, by the way. I don't know why they were removed.
It's because the Couriers don't have mana. In Warcraft 3, Couriers use the mana. That's the reason why. It's so sad. You can't have Dagon Wars with couriers. I'm really disappointed. Universe coming in. Look, he's just going to power shot and have a bit of a search out. Roshan's at 1500. And then RK and Universe. Solar Assumption damage. There's a clock. There's a hook shot in. Roshan, he's going to be our bigger one to watch right now. Roshan, he's not dead just yet. He's stomping up. MSS trying to finish the job, but Lotus Spin will actually take his life points right now. Outside the battle, though, Arcade's got himself a double kill. Hunting Fear. Joe's up at the ancient area. And now they get the Nova. They see Jo in the corner. Familiar staying in close. They can't get the stomps out and Fear correctly when Jo turns to fight up. Loda doesn't have ulti available anymore, and Roshan's still alive. Frostbite now going to get out of that one. They have physical damage enough. No, they don't. Only just Jo will survive again with this TP out. But they will have to accept that Roshan belongs to Alliance now.
Yeah. Looks like that'll be going towards Loda. And of course the rocket to say congratulations follows in. But unfortunately it is too late. And speaking of too late, that second death on MSS there allowed S4 to get the AoE gold and of course the gold from tower. But the mid lane versus mid lane difference now is I think S4 has an item that helps him escape. And yeah, it is the Force Staff. When a Zeus gets Force Staff and your Clockwork doesn't even have treads, it's a really scary story, because if Zeus can't die to a Clockwork, you have some serious problems in your roster right now, and unfortunately for EG, like, well,
Clockwork.
I guess you can always get the CM.
They also managed to cut out S4 if they only had detection for him.
Well, yeah, that's right, of course. But he does have the Force Staff, so he might have been able to escape.
And look at RK.
It's a very tricky one.
RK's going to attempt a solo kill on Fogs in the middle lane. Or maybe not solo. There's always a Bulldog in the neighborhood. He's already used his stun. S4 comes in with the lightning bolt damage. But those familiars with their initial attack, Visage didn't even use his nuke. And they're going to move themselves up towards the top lane. RK leaves an aggressive ward behind, so they'll see when EG are going to rotate support up to stop this push to the tier 1. And then also, because it's so aggressive, the tier 2 tower as well. So this is at least a tier 1. It's possibly a tier 2 for Alliance.
And this game so far is progressing like it is. It is definitely the Alliance show. Now, I know that EG put out a similar reverse performance last game, but I'm going to have to hold that thought at the bottom lane.
Yeah, Nova, Loda, he's going to come in. He's still got that ultimate available, and Jo, well, there's the ulti out by EGM, and Juggernaut ulti as well. Most of the Radiant creep wave is gone by that point. So everything connects towards the Life Stealer. And then through behind, RK gonna go on Fog. Zeus already dropped down the ultimate. Look at that Soul Assumption damage too. The Shrek will connect, but the Prophet ultimate also bouncing through, picking up Universe. They saw MSS so low life as well inside the Radiant jungle. Fear's back at base healing up. But MSS is definitely a long way from home. And they will lose. They should lose this tier 2 tower. If not on top, it will be on bottom, because Loda's still pushing this one out as well.
Now, I wonder what EG would have given for MSS to be able to finish up a quick blade mail like Bone 7 style in this game. Because you look at the heroes of Alliance and look at the damage coming out of them in general. A blade mail would have completely just ruined everything about their game plan, because all they have is pretty much damage, and they're relying on it to just run over all these team fights. And of course, with all the farm they have from the early game, they can do so. But at the same time, I'll hold that thought. Loda, yeah. I think he should be fine.
He'll spin. He's got ulti up in 2 seconds time, but he's got to keep himself clear of all the creep wave, and then he can throw the ulti out. If he goes now, he can't go now!
He has the Aegis,
It's true. It's true, but are they going to try and stick around and do this? There's still no creep wave, and there's your jump in by Fear. Echo Slam, but Loda got the ulti off. He's jumping around MSS as well as Fear, so low on life. The Shackle unable to latch there from Universe, and they'll lose both the clock as well as more. RK on the other side of the tree line was just throwing Soul Assumption damage out, and he goes to Universe, a new set of trees, and GG! We have ourselves an almost hour-long game before, and now we get a GG call-out, which will give us an official GG of 17-14 for Team Alliance. The marathon is run, and then the sprint follows after.
Yeah, the most basic definition of an avalanche effect just kicking in for Alliance. I mean, so many things could have gone different this game. I feel like with the small exchange, the skirmish at the bottom that determined the first blood, as well as the mid lane attempt. If they were able to secure that first blood on S4, maybe this Clockwork would have been able to do 10 times more work in the game by being ahead of the Zeus, possibly getting a solo kill at 6, or even rotating to the tri-lane faster than anybody would have anticipated. But things just not going in EG's favor, and we see Fox score. It's definitely like playing heroes like Leshrac against all that kind of burst, I'm just not sure if that's anything beyond wishful thinking, because at this point, look at Alliance's score. Everybody's crushing because they all have so much damage that they just click a couple buttons and everything dies.
Yeah.
So I think strategically, I think that EG got a little bit outmaneuvered at the mid lane, and of course, in the end, I feel like they kind of got outdrafted, and Alliance were able to take full advantage of and press on with the advantage.
Well, this now means, man, that Alliance are able to take a 2-0 lock #1 position in Group A. They're drawn up with actually Sigma. Sigma is sitting in #1 position with 2 wins and 0 losses. And EG, they will join virtus.pro in the tied for 4th and 5th position, both with 2 losses to their name. And Fnatic smack bang in the middle of them. They're over in Korea right now, but Fnatic have 1 win, 1 loss. So everyone goes through 2 games in Group A. As far as our next game's coming up, though, we're looking over towards Group B, peoples. Speed is topping this, completely topping this. They have 1 last game left to play up against Mousesports. The favor is to take the #1 position, and then battle for 2nd and 3rd. That's a little bit tighter. Our team coming up next, of course, is a big crowd favorite, Na'Vi. They are sitting in a drawn 5th position with Dignitas. They have 2 losses to their name. They've already lost to Liquid, and they've lost to Speed. They have 2 matches left. Still 1 up against Dignitas, and now the 1 coming up against Mousesports. And Mousesports so far without a loss, sitting in that 2nd position comfortably for the moment, but it's a big game coming up. So stay tuned, peoples. Na'Vi vs Mousesports coming up next here on your live stream.